but just maybe a little bit of patchy cloud cover. A rather decent evening, except for the breeze. That's going to be pretty strong, especially if you're at the coast. And that breeze being driven by the presence of high pressure in the western Atlantic and this very vigorous stretch of low pressure over the Mississippi Valley. So that's just kind of funneling the wind very swiftly upon our area. That continues for the next 6 hours and beyond. Well, at least between now and those 6 hours, we're not going to have any storms. It's going to be off to the west. Tri-state areas, roughly about 5 a.m., I believe. That's when that line will start to approach, and embedded within this line will be those stronger gusts of wind that can be given out of those thunderstorms, as well as the onshore push, as swift as it is, that can maybe cause a couple little spin-ups around this line as it moves from west to east through at least the midday hour. By early afternoon, they'll start to push out of the Swanee River region and along the North Florida Peninsula. So we'll start to get a diminishing trend of any kind of storm intensity. And as I mentioned, maybe by late tomorrow, we could see some breaks of sunshine, and that can maybe give some support for temperatures to rise once that thunderstorm line pushes all the way through. But it's going to carry some heavy rain with it, so be aware of that. Umbrellas likely as you get your day going tomorrow, as those downpours can drop maybe a quick inch of rain in many locations. That's a broad stretch of forecast rain totals, around 1 inch to 1.5 inches. The broadest, most numerous occurrences of severe weather will be to the west of the Apalachicola-Chattahoochee River, mostly in the early morning hours. But as that line approaches, we'll have our own scattering of occasional wind gusts of 60 miles per hour, and again, maybe a couple little tornado warnings that can form near and along that line. So that's going to be the concerns that we'll be having for your Thursday morning. Primarily the gusty winds, even outside of any storms. I know there were some power outages related to knocked over trees and whatnot, but those storm gusts will be the highest as that line comes through, and a couple of stray tornadoes. Can't rule that out. Flooding issues, not necessarily from the rain, but maybe from those strong onshore winds that push the water over the coast in the bay regions. So keep in mind, tomorrow morning, by the afternoon, late afternoon and evening, the storms are gone, but the strongest of which could be in the western zones around the Lake Seminole counties by the early morning hours, roughly 4, 5, 6 a.m. or so. And as mentioned, strong onshore wind causing a coastal flood warning for the immediate coastal line, as those water levels can increase at least 2 feet above typical levels. Overnight lows, not very low, mostly in the mid-60s. Highs tomorrow likely suppressed a bit, but then temperatures rising if you get in on some late sunshine. So we can get close to 80, and then kind of variable cloud cover into Friday. We'll lessen the rain coverage, especially on Saturday. That's going to be the more substantial dry out as it appears. Our data kind of wavers back and forth with the Saturday rain, but it looks like a little more limited compared to recent trends. More storms by the middle of next week.